over the last couple of days, that's for sure. So what
Yeah.
did you write? What was the description here? Because all I did was copy and paste it the other day when I spoke to you and you left me that message
Let's
that
have a
sounded
look.
like Barry White and
Yeah, and I was just saying, I've my voice has got a lot better now compared to what it were. But
oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. But you did
um,
use the sympathy vote there on a lot of
oh,
people and got
absolutely.
them to engage based on your sickness. I was
It's
trying to
it's
help you out with engagement also.
it's all about the engagement, dude. All about the
It
engagement. You
is
know,
a pity.
what do we teach people? Leverage every opportunity.
Absolutely.
Everything's about leverage. By the way, guys, just so that you do know,
And gals.
this and girls. Although right for future reference, guys is a what's the word I'm looking for? Non-gender relevant term. So guys relates to both,
Okay.
or it does in the UK
Noted.
or Yorkshire or whatever. So guys, this is recording. It's recording already. This is just going to be a natural, progressive training. It's not a hype-filled, specific sales show. So just so that you've got a heads up and know that we're underway. The announcement for this is, well, the schedule, if that's what you're asking, buddy, was going to be covering what's gone off over the last couple of weeks
Yep.
while you and I have been away. What has been going off with the OSP update, the final piece of the BOSSXL version 2 puzzle that we've been awaiting. Some hints, tips, secrets, strategies, bits and pieces that we both wanted to touch on. A Q&A, so a chance for you guys to ask what you want. That we may not record that part. We might hit stop before we get to the Q&A.
More than likely, you and I talked about that. Yep.
And a little giveaway for those guys who have bothered to get off their ass and get on the call. There's going to be 100 Accelerate Traffic clicks up for
100.
grabs.
100.
100 clicks.
For free.
100 yeah, absolutely.
No discount.
Absolutely. So what's that? That's what are we charging for 100 clicks these days? I think we've got it down at $65, haven't we? So yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. We're filling in the giving mode. We know how much you missed us. Me for the last 2 weeks and Rich for the last week.
Yeah.
But no, good stuff, my man. So now are we going to also talk about the new schedule and agendas for not only training, but also Winter Circle and Pit Lane Power Hour, my man?
Yeah, so we'll square that off first. Let's do that now.
Okay.
So, excuse me. Having had this break, one of the things that certainly Big and I have noticed, I'm assuming or hoping that you guys have noticed, is that momentum seems to have taken a bit of a dip. There's been a drop off in people's.
Yeah, I think David Pinto pointed out that just because we were on vacation doesn't mean that everyone else should have been on vacation also when it comes to marketing. Yeah, I saw that. Couldn't comment because my wife was looking over my shoulder, but anyway.
I actually missed that, but that's probably the best call of the last couple of weeks. Great job, David. Love it. So I was away for the week. I'm still doing bits and pieces, so I wasn't invisible, but I certainly wasn't active. Much like Big, you know, he was on holiday, wasn't invisible, but our focus was elsewhere. But yeah, it's obviously momentum's dropped, and what we want to do is hit the ground absolutely running. So the first power hour will be on Sunday, will be high octane, will be high enthusiasm, will be the first version 2 power hour of the new format, because essentially when you look at version 2, it is a OSP and Future Ad Pro funnel. That's it. Everything else is bells and whistles. You'll get stuff from everything else. There's training within everything else. There's tutorials within everything else. They're all built in a way so that they enhance the core structure of it. And that core structure is selling Online Sales Pro and Future Ad Pro via Future.
Yeah, so Rich and I talked about it. So rather than selling people on the appetizer, the salad, the main course, and then dessert, we're going to basically just serve up the main course, and everything else basically is a la carte. And that's going to be the show also. So it's going to be a different format. And I'm jumping in here. Rich was going to talk all about this, but I see him crackling up a little bit there.
Sorry, you crack on.
Croaking up, crack on. And so that's going to be the format, completely different. And it's going to be extremely focused. that's also one of the things we went back and we watched a few of the shows as well as some of the training. And I think both of us agreed that what we loved about version 2.0 and BOSSXL is it's extremely focused on getting the conversion. And we now feel that we have to do the same thing with the training and the pit lane power hour. So that brings us to the pit lane power hour being the new version. It's not going to be over the top sales oriented, but it definitely is going to be more sales oriented. Let's put it that way. A little more meat and potatoes, a lot less hors d'oeuvres and dessert. Let's put it that way.
Beautiful.
How was that, Rich?
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Yes, you usually do something to do with steak. I can't remember what that analogy is. You use steak and potatoes, steak and gravy.
Steak and sizzle. Yeah.
What he said. Is that what it was, Calvin? Cha-ching. Yeah, good stuff. I saw you holding the phone up, so I didn't know whether it was a message from the wife saying hurry up. No, right. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's the power hour is going to be Sundays, starting from Sunday. The trainings, as Big mentioned, are going to be more focused. Focused to the extent that we're going to have timers. We're going to specifically be making sure that there's a timeline set in place. It's going to be a timed recording, but it's also going to be a timed Q&A afterwards. Because what we're finding is, yes, we know Big and I can talk, and sometimes we talk and drag things out. So it's not all your guys. Sometimes it is us. We get that. But from both sides, there's a lot of time taken up that doesn't necessarily need to be taken up. And so what we want is focused attention, focused action, focused impact. And so if you guys know that, right, we've got X amount of minutes to ask questions, people aren't going to sit back and, I hope somebody else asks that. I'll see if somebody else asks that. And then right at the last minute, ask a question, then takes another 10, 15 minutes to discuss. So let's get stuff done, dusted, crack on, move forward. So right. They're going to be very focused, driven training events. The Wednesday night event will still be the Supercharged sales training. So that will be centered around using the programs that are in the primary part of the funnel. So Online Sales Pro, Future Ad Pro, an element of FutureNet we'll touch on. And there will be additional training about online marketing in general. So social marketing, email marketing, content marketing. It won't just be those three things, but most of the value relating to marketing will still be in the Winner's Circle trainings, which are going to be hosted on Sundays. So
going back to the Wednesday training, okay, David Pinto is going to be a regular part of Wednesday training. There'll be a very set agenda up front. That will share what the agenda is. We're going to get through that agenda. We're going to still do the 15, 20 minutes of introduction as we bring new people in. This is to get the momentum back. Okay, we want new people on. 30 to 45 minutes at the most of actual training. And then after, with the record button off, as Rich said, I have a timer. That timer will be set, and we'll basically have a lightning round, 30 minutes at most. And a lot of that is to get people to focus, all right, and take action. See, there's two themes that we were noticing, all right? People are very excited, and there's momentum when people are excited. But as that momentum wanes, the reason that people kind of sway away from it is because they lose focus, all right? They lose focus, and they lose momentum because they're no longer focused. So we have to do the same thing in our training as well, which is why we're highlighting it here. And then we move into Winner's Circle, and you can talk about that, Rich. But that's going to be the format for training going forward. And then we can cover Winner's Circle, and then we'll basically finish up with pit lane and get right into the nitty gritty, my man, with this new version 2.0.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Winner's Circle, I'm not going to go too much into on this one because not everybody on here is Winner's Circle. But other than to say, Winner's Circle will be, again, it'll be shorter. It'll be punchier. It will be more based on the content that you guys are driving as a requirement for your own growth inside the group. Obviously, you've got the chat room, and you know we love the chat room. But the chat room being used as somewhere to ask questions and deal with inquiries, it's useless for you as individuals, because your team is going to want to know the answers to those questions, and they
can't search the chat room, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, but in the Facebook group itself, by you guys throwing the stuff in there that you need, and on that post in particular, where I've put the 5 key areas that you've asked for training on, I started to fill some of that out today. Some of you might already have seen the content marketing, the creatives, hints and tips on that. By putting your stuff in there, we can build the Winner's Circle training around it and have it very targeted for your needs, which is exactly what we want it to be. You know, there's 2 sides to the Winner's Circle training. There's going to be what your requirement is, what you guys have specifically asked for, where your areas of weakness are. And then the other side of it is going to be what Bigg and I are actually doing in our businesses individually. You know, what you guys see us do for you is one thing, but what are we doing for ourselves? Because BOSSXL version 2, BOSSXL version 1, BOSSX, whatever we build for the masses. We build for everybody. That's who we are. That's what we do. But as we spoke about on the launch of version 2, as we speak about in the funnel videos itself, as we speak about in the training, when you're using something that's an exact duplicate, for example, emails, when you're using stuff that's an exact duplicate, ultimately it gets flagged by email systems. There's an element of snow blindness by the marketplace. There's all sorts of factors. So what we give you is a platform to start with, but we teach you how to adapt. So that second side of the Winner's Circle training is going to be exactly how we're adapting. What curveballs are we throwing into our marketing to make things work? So yeah, that's how the Winner's Circle gig's going to roll out. So we've covered that. We've covered the Supercharged sales training on Wednesdays. We've covered the pit lane power hours. Yeah, I think that's all the scheduling sorted. Is it?
That's it. Focused. Basically, we're not going to say it's going to be short and sweet, but it is definitely going to be focused and shorter, so that the idea is that you take the information that you learn and immediately put into action right after the call. And if we don't extend them further, most of you, it won't be too late for you to actually put into action something that you learn on those trainings. All right. So what we'll do is training for the system will start next Wednesday. The first Winner's Circle, because we have some surprises for people in the Winner's Circle, will start the following Sunday. So this coming Sunday is pit lane by itself, because Rich and I, like I said, we're gearing up for a whole new format, and we basically have decided how that's going to go. We're not going to tell you that, because we want you guys all to see it and drive people to it, to the brand new version 2.0 of Pit Lane Power Hour also. So how is Pit Lane Power Hour going to be integrated into this new version 2.0? Well, let's go over version 2.0 so that you guys understand exactly what it is and why it was really a dramatic change, right, Rich? Mm-hmm. And this is something we didn't agonize at all over this. We knew exactly, based on our feedback, based on the email follow-ups, based on all that from version 1.0, that was a very solid program. But we also knew that we wanted better conversions. And in order to get better conversions, you have to take the obstacles out of the way. Same thing. There has to be more of a focus to have someone basically make that emotional buy-in. And we think we've done that with version 2.0. And as we said, we go back and look at it, we've had to stop ourselves while we took time, you know, over vacation, going back in and saying, well, we could have done that better, could have done that better. The truth is good enough. And
this is it. And we're as guilty as anybody else, you know. And sometimes perfection is the thing that you're chasing. True perfection. You know, I say it to other people, so sometimes I need to say it to myself as well. You know, there's no such thing. What is it people say? Practice makes perfect. Practice makes progress. That's all it makes. And that's all I'm ever interested in. And this is progress enough. It's bloody brilliant. That's what it is. Is it the best that we'll ever do? No, but that might not be for another 10 chuffing years. It's good enough. It will convert like a beast if you're sending traffic to it. Fact. What I'm interested in is the volumes of traffic that folks are going to be sending to it and which pages they're using and feedback, because we test just like you guys do, but there's only so much volume you can send to something in testing. So we're as interested in your feedback as we are in our own. So yeah, test. Excuse me.
You want me to jump in here and save your voice a little bit?
Cheers, dude.
So absolutely. So version 2.0 really is that one word we've been talking about. It's extremely focused. It's focused on having someone take action much more quickly than version 1.0. And that's why we know this is going to convert when all the pieces are together, and that being the training and the pit lane power hour and the beefed up version of the winner circle. All of those things are going to work in conjunction. But before you can feel comfortable about that, we need to actually go through version 2.0 with you and make sure that you guys are maximizing and leveraging fully how powerful version 2.0 is. And it has a lot more to do than what we asked you guys to do while we were on vacation, which was just to simply get your funnel put together and basically start running some traffic to it. And we're going to basically share with you, go through. All right, for those that are watching and have not set it up, we're going to go over it. We're going to go through how easy it is to set up. We're going to go through some updates on making it even easier, along with Online Sales Pro. And we're also going to go over the follow-up, because the follow-up is key in this part. And the follow-up comes in two parts. Obviously, we've been talking about it from the beginning. That is getting people into the group. That's an easy sell. The other is the emails and how you can go about extending those, all right, into broadcast based on how and why the funnel was built the way it was. All right. So, Rich, my man, this is where you take over. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to do more talking because this is how we laid it out, unfortunately.
No drama. No drama. So, excuse me. So, what I am going to do is, we'll very quickly go over what the funnel is for the sake of everybody. I know some of you guys have seen it already, but there is also going to be some changes. So let me just go to share screen.
Uh-oh. People's eyes perked up there. Changes. What, Rich? What?
Yeah. Right. So share computer sound and optimize. Share screen. Right. Let me know that you guys can see that.
Yep. You're good to go.
Right. Okay. So this page is changing. That's straight in with the jugular kill. You can continue to use this page if you like. There is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But you know that we had an update coming from Online Sales Pro. Joel and Co have been working on this share funnel system for us, which has been causing massive headaches. They tell me it's been causing massive headaches. It's certainly been causing me massive headaches with the length of time and backwards and forwards that we've had over it. And we want a single share code for the entire funnel. And they are doing everything they can to make that happen. Crazily, the single stumbling block that they've got is this one page, because this one page is a different format to all the rest. Excuse me. So in order for them to be able to create the single share code option, they need this page to be built in the same format as all the other pages within the funnel. So they're creating me a new template that I can build this page onto. It won't look quite as sexy, but I'll get it looking as good as I can, but it won't look quite as sexy. And once that's done, they can then issue us with the single share code option. So what you'll have is one share code, and I'll change the share code website, the BOSSXLsharecodes.com. I'll change the tutorials to reflect it, so everything will be seamless. But for you guys who are on this and for you guys who are watching this early, just be aware that if you're using this page already, you can. And if you are wanting to, you're able to use the single share code option, which will plug in a slightly different version of this page leading on to the rest of the funnel. Does that make some sense? Because I kind of lost my train of thought as I was talking partway.
Yeah, Rich, basically what you're saying is, as it stands now, the funnel is fully ready to go. It just means that you have to put in, obviously, share codes for each page
Yeah.
in order to simplify things. Again, because we're looking at conversions, the ability to have people, buy into this much quicker.
Yeah.
Obviously, one share code is going to allow for that. But we didn't want it to be easy for them because design and the way this was structured was on purpose. And it was basically that headline there is a knockout, and that's what sells this page. And so to just discount it and go into the quick editor, as we showed you guys before, it just did not work. We had already gone through that. And that's why we stuck to our guns, that this was the most important page. And it is. Your landing, okay, or your sales video page, when people put in their information, the first thing they see is this. It is the most important part of your sales funnel. No ifs, ands, or buts. The most important part.
Here's what I'm going to say. This is my advice to you guys as early adopters, to you guys who are on this live, and to you guys who are watching this recording at a relatively early stage. My tip to you as early adopters is do not change this page. Do not change. Do not update your funnel. Keep it as it is. So this is your squeeze page. And then when they click that button, it takes them on to your sales page, and so on and so on and so on. The guys who join this funnel after you will not have this as an option. They'll find it as an option once they're mooching around and inside the Facebook group and whatnot, but it'll not be there as an option in the setup. When they set up, going forward, they're going to be setting up by inputting one share code, and when they input that one share code, it will input a new version of this page, which is not quite as sexy, as well as all of the other pages that you're familiar with. But for you guys, use this page. That's my advice.
Great advice, Rich. I'll take that advice.
Thank you, mate. I thought so. So what you've got is a simple squeeze page, whether it be this one or the other one, that is a short 2-minute video of
share with you
some dude you might
how
recognize.
We unlocked a system.
And so he gave a brief overview of exactly what people are going to see on the inside. And once they click through that button, they're taken into page 2, which gives a more thorough overview of exactly what's going on, what it's all about, how the system works, etc., etc. They have got a testimonial video, which is showing people who used version 1. Folks who used version 1 and had results with it and have given testimonials, as well as a button that should go to your live chat. Now, guys, excuse me. Obviously, when people are running traffic, I get the opportunity to test their funnels. I don't want to spend my time testing people's funnels. So please don't take that as a, Rich, will you test my funnel for me? The answer to that is no. You can test your funnels yourself. I'm nothing special. You know what your buttons should do. When you press your button, if it doesn't do that, your funnel's not set up properly. But when I've been testing some funnels, what I'm getting when I hit these buttons is all sorts of crazy stuff. So make sure that when you click that button, it goes to your messenger chat. And it should be a messenger chat with yourself. If it's a button to your messenger, you can see I chat to myself a lot. So just ignore the stuff that's on there. But yeah, that should open up a chat with yourself if you've got it set up properly. It shouldn't open up a link to your Facebook page. It shouldn't open up a link to any group chats. It should just be direct to your Facebook Messenger chat.
Yeah, and Rich, we talked about this, and this is what OSP was excited about also, that this small tweak here, okay, with us helping them reinvent their system, allows for more conversions. All right, and that was part of what was missing before. A lot of people were saying, oh, this is a way for you to insert yourself in the conversation right away as their sponsor, as their person. Again, if they click on there and they get a live person, I can tell you myself, I'm getting people clicking on there and they're going to, oh, I was just seeing if this actually worked or not.
Yeah.
That's the conversation I'm getting.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I had one yesterday. I was just checking to see whether this was an automated response.
Yep.
I put lol.
Oh, wait. Oh, you're big from the video? And I go, yes. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you. I was just checking to see if this worked.
Yeah.
That was a conversation.
Is it an automated response that says the systems are automated, but the responses are very real?
Yep.
So, yeah, beautiful.
So we love it. But again, as Rich said, we've seen a couple of cases already where it's going to your Facebook page. That doesn't help you. It does not help you. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, so bottom tour of the Facebook group, and then the bottom button shouldn't be changed. That should automatically take them through to the Facebook group. So let me just hit mute before that starts. There we go. We'll leave it to play, actually. So then they are taken into the online sales pro system, where we sell online sales pro as a
heavily.
Yeah, absolutely. Button driving them straight into sign up, and then the walkthrough of how to actually use it. So how to use it not just for BOSSXL, but how to use it for their own businesses. And then we move on to the next step. Next step is selling FutureNet. And this has been done for a reason. And this was one of the obstacles to getting people actively working Future Ad Pro. Because of how FutureNet had effectively altered their system, what you'd got was people thinking they were joining Future Ad Pro in BOSSXL version 1, but when they opened the link, it took them to FutureNet. They joined FutureNet for free. Why would they not? It's free. But then what? And people were getting lost at that point. And so, excuse me, I know I and a load of you guys already were getting lots of FutureNet signups, but they weren't spending any money. They weren't buying any ad packs. They weren't even aware of the Future Ad Pro link, how those two things tied together. So selling FutureNet first and then introducing it and how to use it is really enhancing the conversion rate from FutureNet free signups to Future Ad Pro spenders.
Now, keep in mind, one of the things you need to do is once they sign up in FutureNet, all right, you need to reach out to them and chat with them in FutureNet, not Facebook. FutureNet. If you see them sign up in FutureNet, reach out and chat with them in FutureNet. And here's the beauty.
There's nothing will motivate you to be on FutureNet more than having FutureNet signups. Because every day you'll want to log in there just to make sure that you're reaching out to them and chatting to them on Messenger. You know, log in the morning. I put a post on Facebook today. What's the first thing you do when you log on? Do you go on Facebook, on FutureNet, or on email? And yes, as most of my posts are, it was partly to generate engagement. But it was also to remind people that there's a reason to check on FutureNet in the morning. It was also to remind people that I'm involved in FutureNet. So if they're thinking of signing up, come and get involved with me. You know, there's lots of reasons behind why I do the post the way I do. But logging into FutureNet in the morning and seeing that you've had new friends added, seeing that you've got new signups added, it's a great reason to do it. And then reach out to them each morning.
And Rich, there's another reason. FutureNet compensates you for actually chatting with people inside the FutureNet platform.
Yeah.
And that's huge, especially when those people come in, because we've made it easy. As Rich said, the FutureNet signups are actually happening much more easy on conversions. But you can't sit there and say, oh, but they didn't go on to Future Ad Pro. Again, they've done the easy part. Now you've got to guide them. It's your job to reach out and guide them and say, thank you for, I see you signed up on FutureNet. Hey, you know, you want me to walk you through? I can show you some of the videos that are available on FutureNet. And by the way, because you're on FutureNet, you know that you automatically are part of my team on Future Ad Pro when you're ready to sign up for that. It's preemptive selling is all it is.
Exactly. One of the easiest things to do when people join FutureNet is, so listen, you can see down the left-hand side that there's loads of different things that FutureNet can offer you. Why don't you just buy $10 worth of points and see what you can buy with those? Most people have got $10 to throw around just to try something out. Let them buy 50,000 media points and see what they can get. They'll buy a landing page setup, or they'll buy one of the blogs or the email systems just to see what it's all about. That's commissionable purchases. You're generating commission as a result, and they're exploring their business. You may have seen me talk in the past about sticky customers. A sticky customer is somebody who's spending money with you in more than one area. And those customers will stay with you because they've got reason to. Each buy-in is an emotional buy-in. You know, if I buy my coffee in one shop, my sugar in another, and my milk in another, how easy is it for me to stop going to one of those shops because the other shop's offering something better? But if I buy all of my stuff in one shop, I have a loyalty there, and it would take something pretty special to move me elsewhere. Do you see how that works? The sticky customer aspect, getting people to buy in to more of what you do, it creates retention in all.
But it's also the reason Rich brought it up on his Facebook post was it's part of us getting back in the momentum of creating the habit of actually utilizing FutureNet more. And we didn't for a while because they were changing all the formats, they were changing how people were signing up, all those types of things. There's no excuse now because this whole, and ignore the word beta on there because it's not beta. It is good to go. They have basically linked it together, so there is so much opportunity to have sticky assets from travel to shopping to everything else that this becomes easier for you to just get people dialed in. And so what we say is as soon as you get a FutureNet sign up, it's in your best interest to go to the chat feature of FutureNet, not Facebook. It's counterintuitive because in the beginning we tell them to sign up for Facebook because that's easier sell right up front. Okay, because most people don't know what FutureNet is yet. So yes, we introduce them to Facebook, but make sure that at this level, when you get a FutureNet sign up, which is for free, that it's your job to start to convert them over to a paid member. All right? Absolutely. Good stuff, Rich.
Excuse me. So on the next page, once you've got people hooked into FutureNet, is Future Ad Pro. So this is where Big shows how you get over here from FutureNet, why you should get over here from FutureNet, what the income opportunity is by using and selling their advertising space, and because that's all Future Ad Pro is, it's just a traffic exchange. The share of the revenues that they provide you with, the commissions that they provide you with, all come from the sales of advertising. So then there's the walkthrough video of exactly how to get set up, and again it's just a straightforward move on to the next step. The next step is where we flag that's pretty much it. You've got everything that you need now. This is your business essentially. You've got Online Sales Pro, your sales system. You've got FutureNet stroke Ad Pro as your business opportunity. Excuse me. All you need to do now is drive traffic to it. So in your next step, what you've got is the setup process.
Now, and here's the part where the bulk of the earnings were derived from these. The bulk of the earnings were derived from these. So we're not hiding an additional 100,000 somewhere else. This is what we're saying, that this makes up the bulk of their system, and they can get started right away by simply getting their Online Sales Pro, getting signed up for free to FutureNet, and then looking in to get started with Future Ad Pro. And boom, they're ready to go. So essentially, as we said, we've already hard sold Online Sales Pro, all right? And now we're going back and coming back in and reiterating that Online Sales Pro is the easiest way to get started in building a online business.
Absolutely. So they've got the introduction to how to set up their funnel. Then they have the accelerate traffic information, because if they've got a funnel complete, if they have business opportunity, they have a sales system, they have a level of exposure, what they want to do is be driving massive exposure to it. And you want your people, your referrals, whether these be cold people or people within your existing network, to be driving traffic immediately, because the sooner they drive volume traffic to it, the sooner they start to see results for themselves and generate commissions for you guys also. Because in Future Ad Pro, the commissions that you're earning are multi-level. In FutureNet, the commissions that you're earning are multi-level. Those media points that we spoke about are built into a binary matrix. So you've got commissions on multiple levels. So the sooner you've got volume traffic going through your entire organization, the better. Hence, we sell that immediately after the setup. And then we move on to the bonuses for the people who want to move on to the bonuses. They are optional, but they make a lot of sense. excuse me. So with your bonuses, there's one that will be familiar to most of you guys who are watching this. Least ad space, more traffic, cheeky little offer, low startup. Look at that guy, beard's looking well. Low startup. It can be in its own right a standalone biz op. Some of you who have been taking notice of the stuff that we were teaching during the whole version 1, during the first 90 days of BOSSXL, will have already created your own mini funnels for least ad space, and you'll be promoting least ad space on Future Ad Pro. You'll be promoting least ad space through social media. You'll be promoting how to use least ad space on least ad space and selling Online Sales Pro there, or selling Future Ad Pro there. So you'll be taking the learning, which is vitally important. And I was saying this to Big earlier on. I still think there's a lot of people missing the point of what BOSSXL is. I think a lot of people think all BOSSXL is some sort of fancy funnel. It's not. It's a chuffing training school. It gives you the business opportunities. It gives you the tools and the resources that you need, but it teaches how to use them. But it only teaches you how to use them if you're watching, if you're engaging, if you're taking part, if you're contributing. So use these things. If you've not yet got mini funnels set up for all of your opportunities, and if you're not yet using those mini funnels in proactive ways in the congruent offers, then you're missing a trick. If you don't know how to do those things yet, reach out to some of us. Put posts in the Facebook group. Forget I said reach out to us. Put posts in the Facebook group, and we'll flag in there exactly where and how you can be doing this stuff. Because everybody should be promoting BOSSXL. Version 2 now, obviously. Everybody should also be promoting the individual businesses on the alternate congruent business. Sell Online Sales Pro on Future Ad Pro. Sell Future Ad Pro on least ad space. Sell Online Sales Pro on least ad space. Sell least ad space with Online Sales Pro. You've got so much opportunity if you take on board the learning and
sell all of it on Facebook and FutureNet.
Mm-hmm. And not just sell all of it on Facebook and FutureNet, but share what you're doing. You know, it's I watched a great
progress results.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched a great clip that John Bone put on Facebook this morning. Awesome clip, buddy, from Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk. I love that guy. And he was talking about content creation and how a lot of people struggle with content creation. And he says, stop trying to create content. Just start documenting. But when you stop trying to teach, stop trying to tell, stop trying to position yourself in authority when you're not necessarily in authority yet, but you document your journey, you share your blog in a similar way to what you see David Pinto doing quite a lot. Just sharing the stuff that's going off in your life. Sharing your results as you go, sharing why you're doing this way instead of why you're doing it that way, sharing what you've just learned, not telling people as if you're teaching it, because if people already know or have reason to think you're not in a position of authority, that undermines you. It gives them reason to discredit you. So don't give it the, you need to do things this way. Give it the, I just found out this and this is working for me. The same message, but put across in a completely different way. So, yeah, great clip from from Gary V this morning. Cheers for that, John. So, yeah, least ad space, rocking business. We know that, well, you know that we love least ad space and vice versa. And then next stage is the interesting one. So this is where it gets a little bit different.
Now, hang on one sec, Rich, before you go any further. What you just had for the last 20 minutes from Rich was a way that you could do exactly what he talked about, to document this exact journey that you've taken over the last 20 minutes to other people out there. And guess what? You will slowly be seen as an authority because you're sharing. And most people are afraid to share. And all you're sharing is, again, content that we're providing in a training mode. But because you take and you just document it and you share it, you slowly build that credibility and authority without having to say that you're an expert. Go ahead, Rich.
Because there's a lot of blockage for many people. A lot of you guys know my kind of thoughts and relationship with the subconscious mind and how psychology works and all that kind of good stuff. And the truth of the matter is, no matter what you think you know, you don't. The only thing that knows what's going off in your body is your subconscious mind, and you ain't got a clue what's going off there half of the time. The blockages, the subconscious issues that you have with yourself will stop you doing the things that are necessary if those things are going against your true values. So when you are aware in your own mind, in your own heart, that you're not of a certain position to provide advice or help or authority or whatever, but you feel you need to in order to get somewhere, you'll stop yourself doing it. You'll get in your own way, or you will do it in a way that doesn't come across appropriately. So you need to do things that are in tune with your own values, with your own standards. Don't try to be something that you're not, or someone that you're not. We've had conversations quite a lot today about duplication. I was talking with Jamie Anthony about it a little earlier. And duplication isn't about copying what someone else is doing or copying what they've said. You know, you've got to be true to you all the time. Always be true to you. Duplicate a process, yes, but do it in your own way. You know, you do it in your unique style. Share.
And the beauty about BOSSXL, Rich, is just that. All right, as he said, it's a training system. It's yes, a master funnel, but in the end, what it is, it's the ability to come in and start to learn how to be your own marketer, how to be your own leader, and how to, guess what, start to build your own tribe, because the whole emphasis of BOSSXL is to have people learn how to be better marketers and better focused on traffic. Because in the end, it doesn't matter what you're selling, you need traffic, but you need to learn how to have conversions be higher, which is why there's a version 2.0. And one of the big things that we wanted to do was to still offer this whole income accelerator, or this income earnings multiplier, if you will, with high ticket offers, because there is a place for them. We just felt very strongly, just like we did in version 1.0, they're not what you lead with. Because you don't want to create an obstacle or a roadblock right off the bat because of the word high ticket offer, or essentially something that's, again, a substantial amount of money for someone to wrap their head around.
Exactly. The high ticket offers are only sold in a couple of ways. You either need to have a strong marketing budget with a strong commitment to consistency, or you need to have a big audience or some sort of following, or you need to drop lucky, generally speaking. One of those three things. And this process is dropping into that third stage, because it doesn't matter how big your audience is with this. It doesn't matter how much your advertising budget is with this. Sometimes some people will just get to the end of this funnel because of the process that they've gone through. It will just make sense for them to take you up on your high ticket offer. So you're going to get sign-ups to this because you've dropped lucky. It's about having luck in your favor. You know, luck isn't luck like most people think it is. It's labor under correct knowledge. You've done the right things. You know the right things. You've taken action. You've put a high ticket offer in here. If you've not got a high ticket offer, don't go spending $1,000 just to put something in here. You don't need to do that. This is not specifically a high ticket sales funnel. It's an OSP sales funnel. It's a future ad pro sales funnel. That's what it's for. But you'll occasionally get a lucky sale at the back end. So I don't want our team going and spending $1,000 just to put something here. That's not necessary. Now, is that me downselling me and Bigg? You know, I should maybe be here saying that's exactly what you need to do. That I'd put $1,000 in mine and Bigg's pocket. So it'd be a great thing for me to do. But you know, we're not that guy. We're ethical marketers, and we do things the other way. So join the income accelerator offer that's in your sponsor's funnel because that product makes sense to you, because that business opportunity makes sense to you, not just to put something in here. Because there'll be something in here whether you put something in here or not. It'll just be your sponsor's offer. And so when that lucky sale drops in, it will go to your sponsor, not to you. what can I tell you? These things happen. If you're in a position to and you need the product or service that's here, buy it. If you've got one of the products or services in your portfolio that we talk about, so it's got to be supported by Online Sales Pro, put it in here and you may well drop lucky, because that's what this is ultimately for from your own point of view. On a wider scale, what it's actually for is to leverage these other opportunities. So Exitus Elite, MCA, Motor Company of America, Digital Altitude, Reverse Commissions, all of these gigs that we talk about at the back, you're now in a position where you can market this funnel to those people, because this funnel can be used to sell those things. So whether that be you marketing directly, or whether that be you creating some sort of mini funnel that introduces BOSSXL version 2 to those types of people. Get creative. Think about what you've been learning so far and how you can play on that learning to attack a niche market. So someone blowing on the mic. I got distracted.
Yeah.
Then, sorry.
Test 1 2 3 test. See if you can find them, Rich.
Yeah. I'll do that in a minute. So this back page is incredibly powerful, because it opens up an whole market that you guys hadn't got before. But the reason I stress on what I stressed on at first is some people were missing the point of this back page and thinking the point of it was us getting the team to sign up for this, that, or the other. That's not the point whatsoever. The point is you now have a funnel that has access to 4, 5, 6 different business opportunity members that you didn't have access to before.
Yep. And as we said, what it will do is it will open up the availability of BOSSXL to many more people. Mm-hmm. Not only those people that already have existing OSP accounts, but obviously have existing high ticket offer accounts that are those 5 or 6 that we talk about inside. So again, there's a lot of flexibility to that, but not so much flexibility that just any old offer is on the back end. And as we said, if we find people just tagging any old offer on the back end, those people will basically be named and shamed, but also be kicked out, because the idea is not to just market anything. There's a whole reasoning behind the psychology of how the funnel is put together and how the system, and it comes back to what we said. It's not about just selling a particular program or product to get the commission. It's to get people to come into the community, to come into the train of thought, and get them to have sticky assets with you, because we're providing value, all of us, on how to be a better marketer. All right, how to build a tribe, how to do training, how to do follow-up, all that type of stuff. And the beauty of it is that there are multiple tools and products out there. We just happen to have vetted these. Anything else doesn't matter. All right. And it's not just for someone to throw something in there. So we're very serious about that. And what's going to happen is, all right, if someone does that, it's going to cause conversions to go down. It's also going to cause issues with the fact that we are so transparent and straightforward with BOSSXL, and you out there are going to probably end up being the police for us when you see people doing that, because you don't want it to sully your reputation being part of this community that's very upfront and open and so giving with training that someone is leveraging it to sell crap. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So that's your overview of V2. I know that most of you guys on the live call were pretty familiar with it, but I've jumped in the comments and it looks like there's a couple of light bulb moments in there also. So that's good news. So in relation to the OSP tweaks, the conversation with Joel Kellman was ongoing as this event went live. I'll keep you in the loop, guys. It will be sorted. It will be sorted, I promise you. So then what we also wanted to touch on was some hints, tips, secret strategies, that kind of thing.
We'll do that off recording, though, Rich.
Ooh, okay.
But why don't we do this? Why don't we, in order to pick the momentum up a little bit, why don't we give something away, my man?
Okay, let's do that. No,
that's only if people put into the chat box here, who's ready for us to give away 100 clicks? 100 clicks of Accelerate Traffic. I know Rich loves looking at the chat box, so I thought I'd get a little pick me up for him there.
I'm liking the me's, the woohoos, the yeses, the I ams, the you bet we are, and all of that business. I'm loving all that, especially seeing as you said, who wants to give away 100 clicks? So I'm going to take 100 clicks from all of you guys. Thanks ever so much.
There was an us. There was an us in there. Yeah, who wants to give us back something?
We'll take your 100 clicks and we'll raise you. So yeah, we're going to do a traffic giveaway, guys. Everybody happy with that? Give me a whoop or whatever you want to give.
Yeah. Now, for those watching the recording, you can't see. The chat box is scrolling along. Yes, yes, yes. Fire, fire, fire. Whoop, whoop. Yay. Yes, yeah. Awesome, good stuff.
Beautiful,
awesome,
beautiful.
So, Rich and I went back and forth on this because honestly, I thought that that he, based on a lot of the feedback and all we got on some other posts, that we should probably up the ante, and so that's why we came up with the 100 clicks, which, as we said, is essentially like handing you over $65, but it's more than that because clicks turn into people on your email list, which turn into much more money than that if they actually convert, all right, to being a member with you under BOSSXL in any of the programs. You guys know that. It turns into much more than that.
Emphasis on the any other programs as well, because bear in mind, once you've got somebody on your email list, they're on your email list. Unless you piss them off, or unless their circumstances change, or unless they buy. You know, once you've got somebody on your email list, you have ownership there to a certain extent. And so you'll run your campaign, your BOSSXL campaign, for example, and you'll find that they don't buy, so you'll continue with broadcasts or whatever it may be, and they continue not to buy, so you'll segregate them, you'll have them listed elsewhere, and you'll introduce them to other offers, which might be your offline network marketing offer, because they weren't interested in online, and for whatever reason they might not buy. And as time goes by, you'll pick up another little affiliate gig, and so you'll try and whatever, they're there. You've got them, and they will buy something.
So retail value is thousands, right, Rich? Thousands. It's not just $65.
Hell yeah, exactly.
Now, there's a reason we're giving away 100 clicks. It has a lot to do with, again, we talked about focus, momentum, all right? But we also want to finish up after we talk about the giveaway with the email follow-up series that we have for version 2.0, because not only is there the system, the marketing system, the group, but one of the most important factors, as you all know, is the follow-up. That's part of the 5 things that we talk about. So, Rich, we decided on what the parameters are. So why don't you kind of go over that instead of me hyping up the 100 clicks? Why don't you do it in a more subtle way, only the way that you can? And then I'll decide whether or not I want to hype it up a little bit more on the end.
Yeah. So 100 clicks is available for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you've got a 1 in 9 chance of getting 100 clicks. As it stands now, those odds may increase. I have a feeling they will.
A little disclaimer there.
As it stands right now, you've got a 1 in 9 chance of winning 100 clicks from Accelerate Traffic that will run the next Monday Blues. So at the end of this week. So there is a deadline to this 100 click giveaway. And
now for those, hang on one second, Rich. For those watching on replay, you can also participate in this as long as, and he'll give the deadline, all right? Accelerate Traffic is 90%, okay? Top tier 1 traffic, which is English-speaking countries only, and it is fantastic traffic. If you don't believe us, you can see it in the group. So what we're giving away is not just a giveaway, it's actually something of real value. But go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, Bigg said that the other guys watching on the recording can. I have a feeling they won't. The reason being, you'll find out in just a second when you hear the criteria. So I'm gonna nail my flag to the mast that those odds that I offered you are pretty much on the money. So here's what you're gonna need to do between now and the close of the giveaway. Close of the giveaway is 8 p.m. BST. That's British summertime. So 8 for Kelvin. 8 p.m. BST. So an hour before the power hour this weekend.
Sunday.
Yep. So
you have 6 days,
you
six
have
and a half days.
Yeah, 6.5 days. So here's what you're going to need to do. You are going to need to do a short video testimonial, 30-second maximum. So that means you might need to do this a few times. You might need to practice it to get it right. And I'm going to go back a step. Everything we do, and you'll see me say this on posts fairly regularly, everything we do for a reason. There's nothing that we do in BOSSXL that doesn't come without forethought. And that forethought generally revolves around your learning, your experience, your moving forward in creating your own independence. BOSSXL is about creating independent marketers who can do what you need to do in order to move your business forward with or without us, because ultimately you'll move on from our gigs. So 30-second video that you'll probably need to practice a few times over to get it in less than that time. You're going to shoot a 30-second testimonial video of version 2. Now, Kelvin's face screws up. Yeah, because all you can create a testimonial of so far is the setup process, is what it consists of. Obviously, you can't give testimony of any results from version 2 because you've only had it for a bloody week. So a 30-second testimonial video. Get creative if you wish to get creative. Be really boring and mundane if that's more in line with your personality. Be honest and authentic. It's got to be from you. So a testimonial about BOSSXL version 2. So the kind of things that you're going to talk about. Firstly, you're going to get in who you are and what your background is. You're going to get in what BOSSXL consists of. And I don't necessarily mean like a content section on a book, but an overview of what it is.
A sales overview, if you will. So you're going to have to learn to condense everything that you believe BOSSXL version 2.0 is within about 10 seconds. A phrase you're going to have to come up with. So this is a little bit of homework. Go ahead, Rich.
I love these assignments. They're amazing. So you're going to get that in there. So I'd be thinking features and benefits, more benefits than features. So yeah, who you are, what it is, and a little bit about the process. You know, think about what are people's fears. People's fears are, generally speaking, the unknown, cost, and ultimately what people are thinking is, will it work for me and can I do it? If you can carry those two questions with you in everything that you're ever going to do, you're not going to go far wrong. Will it work for me? Can I do it? No matter what business, what funnel system, what opportunity you're involved in. If you can cover those two objections before they arise, then you are 100% increasing your chances of converting.
And finally, a call to action at the end. So a lot of you are probably sitting there going, how are we going to do all this in 30 seconds? How are we going to do all this in 30 seconds? Understand, this is a sales testimonial, okay, for a product that you're excited about because you were part of version 1.0. What do you love about version 2.0? Cover exactly what Rich talked about, but you also need, and I'm not talking about a hard call to action. If that's you and that's how you want to do it, that's fine. But there needs to be a call to action at the end, because if you've covered what Rich has talked about, which is an introduction with your excitement or mundane or however you are about version 2.0, those two questions that he talked about, okay, then obviously you're going to want that person to take action somehow, some way. And here's going to be the hard part. A lot of people in call to action tend to, guess what, summarize everything they just said. And so instead of 30 seconds, it ends up being a minute, because you're trying to sell people once again on what you've already covered, which is why, all right, we said that you'll probably have to, guess what, do it several times in order for it to be succinct and focused on, as Rich talked about, a lot less features and more benefits, especially if you're going to cover those two questions. And so that call to action should do nothing more than asking them a favor to take action on what you just talked about.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So don't get too caught up in sales training that you've had before. You know, this whole idea of I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, then I'm going to tell you, then I'm going to tell you what I've told you. Focus on the task in hand. So, any questions on that before we kill the recording and move on to the juicy bit?
Hang on. How do they actually win the 100 clicks? And how many videos are they allowed to actually do, Rich?
Okay, yeah, fair point.
All right, so we're giving away 100 clicks. You have 6.5 days. There's a deadline for it. We're going to announce it on the Pit Lane Power Hour coming this Sunday, the winner. All right? But how do those people become winners? And how many entries are they allowed?
Right, so you are allowed, and this wasn't my idea, by the way. You know, occasionally I give stuff away. Occasionally. I think I've done it twice, actually. But you know, Bigg just don't give two shits and just gives away whatever. So Bigg says, Bigg says you can have unlimited entries. Yeah.
Practice makes what, you said?
Yeah, practice makes a broke rich and big, apparently. So yeah, practice makes progress. So you can have unlimited entries as long as they fit within the parameters. So they have your intro, an overview, and a call to action. As long as they've got those three things and they're under 30 seconds, they count as an entry. Each entry is going to be given a number. And the number will be picked at random. We'll use Siri or Google, whatever, Google Now. So yeah, it's going to be the old OSP type giveaway, giving the numbers out. Excuse me, I will do it even without Siri. Right, okay, so Dave Pinto will pull the number out on Siri. Awesome, there we go. So it's not for judging then. No, it's not going to be for judging because I would hazard a guess that there'll be quite a few good ones. I would hazard a guess there'll be quite a few shit ones as well. And that's okay also because practice makes progress. The beautiful thing about a rubbish testimonial video is that it can only get better. And it's a great stepping stone. I still amuse myself to this day sometimes looking back through my own YouTube channel at some of my videos, and they're only the ones I did last week. But yeah, the first videos that you do will be bad. Who cares? Just practice. Just get the stuff done. Less than 30 seconds. Yeah, absolutely, Diane. That's the key.
30 seconds or less.
Yes.
30 seconds or less.
Yeah, if it's 30 seconds on the nose, we're not going to disqualify you. Yeah. 30 seconds, 0.5.
You're out of here. All right, so that is the giveaway. 100 clicks, accelerate traffic, that will run next week. We will put up the notice in the Facebook group for those that are watching the recording. If you happen to catch this, if someone's sharing it with you, it's www.getinthegroup.com. And yes, you can join right away also. Now, in order to do that, you'll have to have set up your own BOSSXL version 2.0 funnel. That's pretty easy. Make sure you get back to the person that shared the link with you to get it done. And the truth is, we're always giving away stuff. We're going to get back to giving away swag, BOSSXL swag, starting in a couple of weeks also, as we gain more and more momentum with this, as we get the training going back up, as we get the power hours kind of going. But what we wanted to do today was to go over the funnel system itself and then essentially stop the recording, and we're going to spend the next 30 to 45 minutes after this going into tips and strategies for people to leverage fully version 2.0. Now, if you're saying that's not fair, that should be recorded also, guess what? Nanny boo-boo, you should have been on live. That's how it works with our training, all right? There's stuff that we cover, but the really good stuff we don't record, because in order to put things into action, you have to be in action, meaning you have to actually be there so that we can interact with you. And that all comes, guess what? On the live part after we stop the recording button. That was about as nice as I could say that, Rich, my man. Maybe you want to kind of spin a little bit nicer, because sometimes I can be a little bit more gruff than yourself, my man. But with your voice today, you know, you're sounding pretty rough and gruff also.
I think I'm sounding hot, really, really hot. And I'll, if my voice stayed this way forever, I'd be a happy guy, you know. I think I sound much
So
more.
go ahead and sing some "Let's Get It On."
Let's get it on. How good was that? Doesn't it just make you? It makes you weak at the knees, doesn't it, Diane? So
Krista is sitting there just mesmerized. I mean, she's listening, going, "Wow, whose voice is that?" You would think it's Chris Coda's, but anyway, go ahead, my man.
Beautiful. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna call this a night for you guys watching the recording. Thank you, and be here on the live gig next time round, so that you can find out exactly what we're going to share in the next few minutes. And to just give you a little bit of a teaser, what we're going to share in the next few minutes, I did a live Zoom call last week with a group of guys in a different business system, giving specific tips. Well, actually, a specific strategy on how to use free Facebook strategies to convert into active buying members of your business opportunity, to the extent that I'd got 3 people using this strategy, and all had massive success in the space of less than a week. All had referred over 20 members, if I remember right. My own personal conversion rate from click to sign up is just over 30%. 30% conversion rate using this strategy that you're not going to get to see.
That you're not going to get.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the group and active on the training after hours when we turn off the record button.
So thanks for coming, guys.
So wait, I thought I was the gruff guy. That was just mean, Rich.
Yeah. What can I tell you? So thank you, guys. I'm going to hit stop now, and we'll catch up with you next time round.
Catch us in the group, www.getinthegroup.com.
Oh yeah, I forgot that bit. Yeah, do that as well. See you later.